Hello everyone, the December review here, back again with the TV show review. Today, we have The Sandman. The newly released Netflix series is out now, with 10 episodes to watch. Minor spoilers are ahead. Let's check it out.
Your waking world is shaped by dreams. Dreams and nightmares that I create and which I must control.
He's out there looking for me, isn't he?
Can you imagine the damage he could do?
I need your help. If dreams disappear, then so will humanity.
The Sandman was a graphic novel series for DC that had an original 75-book run back from 1989 to 96. It's been brought to the waking TV world by its creator, Neil Gaiman, alongside legendary writer and comic adapter David S. Goyer. Tom Sturridge stars as our lead Morpheus, aka Dream. He is one of the Endless, a family in charge of overseeing different aspects of the world. He is the king of the dreams and stories, the ruler of the sleeping world. He can create and manifest anything he can imagine or be inspired by. He lives in the dreaming, a vast realm alongside his librarian, who oversees all of the books ever written and those not written yet. The show follows along the first 12 books of the series. In episode 1, Morpheus is captured in our real world by Roderick Burgess, who is attempting to capture death instead, looking to reverse the loss of a family member. Dream is held captive for 106 years before he can escape. His century-long disappearance resulted in some rather unpleasant scenarios, as many were stuck in perpetual sleep mode, deemed the sleepy sickness. The dreaming was also almost completely abandoned. His most valued and needed possessions, his sand, ruby, and helm, were also stolen by Roderick and now lost. The bulk of the 10 episodes deals with Morpheus tracking down his items, putting his realm back together, and dealing with one of his nightmare creations, Corinthian, who is running amok in the real world and looking to end Dream's reign. And there might just be someone else pulling a few strings. At its best, The Sandman is an exciting and tension-filled gothic adventure. The first half of the season did a really great job with its more standalone episodes, allowing for different creative ideas and circumstances to really take hold of its audience, while also introducing us to the wide world Morpheus reigns over. There are some pretty big themes here as the existential nature of life is explored through the human ideation of understanding our own existence. To that end, Morpheus believes himself to be the balance of the Force. While we may interpret dreams with a more foreboding narrative, for the creator of them, Morpheus holds his powers with great accountability, sometimes unflinchingly so. Part of the journey the show finds itself in is the stubbornness of Dream to adapt to the missing years of his ruling. Sprinkled throughout are some life lessons even an Endless can learn to help keep his realm his own. And there is a great 3-episode run in this series, starting with Chapter 4, where Morpheus enters the underworld to regain his helm, in which a demon now holds possession. He meets up with Lucifer Morningstar, played by Gwendolyn Christie, who is captivating here.
Tell us, what power have dreams in hell?
A challenge is struck between the pair, and the resulting standoff is both a fantasy game come to life and an interesting power struggle involving two titans of the universe. In episode 5, the show switches up into the Twilight Zone, where the characters of a local diner are in for a very long day. It's the show's most horror-inspired episode, and one that veers off into tough territory. Episode 6 finds Morpheus overhearing a patron at a bar claim that he will live forever, a wish that Dream ends up delivering on, granting him the power of immortality. They then meet up at the same bar every 100 years. It's a fascinating take where Morpheus is more interested in his own amusement at first, but as the centuries go by and we see multiple visits between the two, one of those life lessons I mentioned earlier, well, it comes into play. For its final arc, the show ends up playing with a more slightly linear story. Corinthian pops up looking to take advantage of a dream vortex in the form of Rose Walker. I found myself more interested in the lead up to this arc than the arc itself. The earlier episodes did a great job building this dream world with characters such as Cain and Abel, who also happen to have a gargoyle they look after. Mark Hamill steps in to voice Mervyn Pumpkinhead, a fascinating walking and talking pumpkin. And Patton Oswalt voices Matthew the Raven, the reluctant but funny Raven emissary to Morpheus. It's also a better show with Morpheus on screen. His brooding nature and abilities gives him an advantage in most of the situations he finds himself in, and that plays well on screen much more effectively than, say, some of the subplots. Make no mistake, this isn't your typical panels on a page adaptation we've come to expect. The Sandman is a much darker story, more in line with Dark City and Hellraiser than the multiverse. Overall, I enjoyed The Sandman. Sturridge does a fantastic job as our lead, as does the entire cast. The show is better with his character on screen interacting with the inhabitants of the Dreaming. The visual elements are done very well with some excellent locations that weave this dream world around itself. When it's clicking, which it does for about 90% of the time, The Sandman stands up there with some of the other great Netflix programming. For me, it doesn't sustain as well as, say, pieces of Her, but for fans of the graphic novel and supernatural stories, The Sandman is at times a strikingly very well made adaptation. I give The Sandman 4 out of 5 stars.
I thought about giving up, but I have a job to do, and I do it.
Things have changed.
Your eyes will tell me everything. Every thought, every feeling.
If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel for more, and let me know your thoughts on the show in the comments section below.